Good evening all, it's been a while. As you can see on the screen, I have my UV-5RH, this one, and my UV22, this one. Now they both use the same CPS, and there's been a couple of people asking me in in my YouTube and the Facebook group how you create the splash screens, or how I get the splash screens. So what I mean by splash screen is that I turn it on. You see, you've got a hand fan thing there, which is obviously I need to redo. And if I do it on this one, I've got the same thing there, another hand fan thing. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. So first of all, you need to fire up the CPS, which is this one, the T6UV series. As to why it's called that, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure there's people out there that know. Anyway, let's fire that up. Okay, so I don't need a full screen, I just need it like that. Okay, so first of all, let's do the 5RH. So just set him to the back for a little bit. I bring out my trusty CH340 cable, and I plug it into the 5RH. So give me a second here. Okay, I have my cable plugged into my 5RH, and there's a slight angle issue. Let's just change the camera. Make sure we don't miss anything. Right, okay. So we go back to the CPS. The first thing we do, actually no, in this case you don't have to do anything except go to Tools. So you go to Tools, and it says Power On Picture. So you click on that. Then it asks you what COM port to use. COM port 5. In my situation, it's COM port 5. Just check my other videos to see what the COM port number is that your computer's using. Now then, it says here that the image size must be a 160 by 128, which is basically the resolution of a 1.7 or 1.8 LCD screen. Inches, 1.8 inches or 1.7, I can't remember exactly, whatever the size of this screen is. What it doesn't tell you is it has to be bitmap. So you basically create any bitmap file you want, design it whatever way you want, but you just make sure that its resolution, its size is 160 by 128. So I'm going to open one which I've created, just a random one. I'm going to tell it to open the image, and you can see I've got this one called Test. Nice pretty one. So I will click on that, and I will click Open. Now it allows it. Now if it didn't like it, it wouldn't even let you put it into this screen. It would come up with an error saying resolution or format or invalid file type or something like that comes up. But in this case, it's 160 by 128. You select it and you just click Import. And as you can see, the radio is now doing some thinking. Okay, that was weird. I'm sure it just started it with a hand fan there. Hold on, let's have a look at that. Oh, okay, here goes. This is interesting. COM port 5, that's the image. Import. Ah, okay, that's weird. Anyway, it did it this time, even though it said it did it last time. So, let's turn it off, turn it back on again, and you see we've got that nice pretty splash screen when it starts up. So I will do the same thing again. This is for the other radio, which is the UV22. So let's turn this off and move him to this side. And bring up my UV22. Hook that in. Oh, we have a balancing issue again this time. Okay, there we go. So let's have a look at that screen. and to do the same thing again. So you go to Tools, Power on Picture, select which COM port, which in my case is COM port 5, open the image, I'm looking for this test one, and I click Open, it adds it into the preview, and Import. As you see, it's doing some thinking, and there we go. Did it first time on this one. So yeah, anyway, so let's just put it back for now because I'm still thinking about how I'm going to redesign my current one. So let's put it back to the original one, which seems a bit old and dated now. I did create it in a rush when I first started doing this. Anyway, let's import that back into the UV22. And there you go, it's back to HamFam, and I will do the same thing again for the 5RH. No, this is the 5RH. Okay, I get mixed up here. This one is actually labelled the UV-5RH, and it is the multiband version with the airband. It's not the, is it BF5RH, which is just the tri-band one, although they look identical apart from this screen. Anyway, let's turn this back on. You can see the nice pretty one on there at the minute, soon to go, and I'm back on COM5. Image, HamFam, import, and there it goes. This is the 5RH thinking, and it's back. So we're now back to the original HamFam image there. Now, there's another thing. I don't know if you guys know this yet. You probably do, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. I downloaded the latest version of Chirp recently, and these two radios are now supported by it. How supported, I'm not too sure, but they does allow you to read them now. Anyway, if you go into radio, you download from the radio, and if you, that's my COM port 5, the CH340, it's a Baofeng, and if you use the UV17 Pro, as you see I've still got my 5RH plugged in there, and it's, well, to give you some warning information here, and if I click OK, you can see it starts to read the radio. And there we go. So it reads onto the radio fine. Obviously the only thing you can't do, from what I can see anyway, is you can't change the boot picture, or the splash screen as I call it. But there, so yeah, so that's the UV-5RH, gets read by Chirp, fine. So let's, oh, by the way, I don't have to turn the volume all the way up. I just have it clicked on, and that's it. That's enough to get these working. I do hear a lot of people saying that they have to turn the volume all the way up. Honestly, I actually don't know what that's about, but I don't have that issue. Anyway, so let's plug in the UV22. Let's turn it off, and I'm not going to turn it very far, but see if you can see me. I'm just going to go click. There. So it's on the lowest setting, and go to the radio, we go download from radio, same again, and the UV17 Pro, okay, and as you see it's reading the radio fine. So yeah, anyway, there it is. So it's reading that. As I say, it'll do everything except the splash screen. From what I can see, there's various settings in here. DTMF, if I click on browser, that takes forever. I think it browses every setting it has access to. So yeah, so it works with Chirp now, the UV-5RH and the UV22. And that's this video for tonight. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. It's a few little things here and there, little tips. I do have another radio on the way. It's one of a, not exactly sure about the look of it, but it's a new radio, so I need to try it and see what it's like. If you want to see what it is, it's listed in the Facebook group there. It is ordered. It is on its way, so only take a few more days, I believe, to get here. And I'll unbox it and we'll try that as well. So I still have to do Quadrashank sub. I'm sorry guys, I still haven't got around to doing that yet. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of updates in the modified firmwares for that. Now they do look fun, but made aware of the fact that radio isn't designed to do the frequencies that people are using, and yeah. Anyway, whatever. It'd still be fun just to see how it works. Anyway, I'm signing off. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you soon. 7 threes.